The year is almost over. What the f***, man? That was quick. But damn, it's been a good one for film. Paprika. That's how I'm ending rounds from now on.
And he's a horrible friend, and he doesn't even grow that much in every film. I'm surprised he got married in the end of the movie, to be honest. Why did Fiona choose him? I don't know. I wouldn't.
Damn. If you were clever, you could guess the question. But you're not, so you didn't. I'm joking. Okay. I don't know why I picked up Darth Vader. Yay.
Darth Vader approves.
It is finished.
Darth Vader approves.
That's not the format.
Anakin approves.
Plot Armor! Welcome to another episode of Plot Armor, the show where we fight hard but fight fair to answer stupid questions about the movies you love, hate, or have never even heard of. I'm your host, Vincent Potgieter. Let's meet today's contestants. Sitting in the middle, with reviews that hit hard and opinions that stick, this Red Bull-fueled geek is our very first pick. Give it up for Alex Samuel. Almost called you Adam. That's his fault. He said we should get names wrong.
That's 100%.
No, that's what he's got now. Alec, how are you doing? Good to have you on.
I'm so good. Thank you so much for having me. What an honor it is to be on the hot seat with these really, really great guests. But my name is Alex Samuel, aka That Freaking Geek.
Hell yeah.
I am on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, and I play all the video games and watch all the movies, give my opinion on it so that you don't have to watch all the movies and play all the video games. It is my honor to give you my opinion on all things geek.
That's awesome. And if you were this is for our South African viewers, if you were at Comic-Con this year, you saw him playing Donkey Kong Bonanza
and Mario Kart,
on the screen. So
I did.
So he is.
I'm so sorry that you had to see that.
I forgive you. And then sitting next to me, from fixing film flubs to framing the shot, she spots every slip, whether you see it or not. Give it up for Lornell Beekers, first try. How you doing, Lornell?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me here again. You get to see my face one more time.
And hopefully not the last time. Here's a little bit of insider fact. The moment you left on the last episode, I turned to Caleb and said, we should have her on again.
Thank you.
Really happy that you are back so quick.
Yeah, thank you for having me again.
For those who didn't see your episode, tell people a little bit about what you do.
Oh, I am a continuity artist. I like to work on films, as Vincent, acutely said. I like to point out mistakes. No, I don't like it.
But you have to.
But I have to. It's my job. So I want to work on movie sets. My ultimate dream is to be a film editor, working on narrative stories. That's my story. It's a short one.
That's awesome. No, I resonate with you on wanting to edit films. That sounds like an awesome job. And this is one that 6-year-old Vincent had. And look what we're doing now. YouTube podcast. Yeah, exactly.
He still has it.
That's true. And then last but not least, a master of metal and films that bite. He'll shred your ears and frame your fright. Give it up for Ian van der Merwe, aka It's Jouska. Ian, how are you doing?
Hey, cool. Thanks for having me on. I'm quite a fan of the show.
Yay.
So, yeah, I'm extremely nervous, but it's very, very cool to be here. And first time meeting you guys, so we'll see how it goes. But I'm excited.
No, that's awesome. We like our guests a little bit nervous. So, Alec, if you're too comfortable, fix that. Ian, just tell us about what you do and who you are.
So I'm a wedding photographer, content creator, and music producer. Yeah, it's Jouska on social media. I try to highlight the South African music scene, the alternative South African music scene in general.
Yeah, and I will add, if you want to know where the best gigs are, he's going to be the person to tell you.
Yeah, I do weekly gig guides as well.
No, which is awesome, and it's great. As we try to highlight South African content and movies, you do that for music, so we celebrate. Okay, before we continue, let's read through the rules. The rules are simple. 3 contestants face off over 5 debate topics. Each round runs 10 minutes and the host awards a point to the most passionate debater, the one with the sharpest argument and fiercest rebuttal. After 5 rounds, the top 2 scorers enter the speed round showdown. 5 rapid-fire questions with just 20 seconds to argue and 15 seconds to rebut. The overall winner gets crowned main character of the episode, while the other gladiators fade into obscurity as the extras. But before we even continue, it is a hot day and we have a cold beverage in front of us, which we can take a sip from. It is time. This is from, as you know, Tebedien, the drink sponsor of the show, and this flavor is called Pine for Orange. Now, Tebedien is run by my wife, Suella, and Lornell, I'd love to say that this drink was going to be very pulpy because turns out, the fruit reacted differently, but she fought the pulp off just for you.
Yeah, I don't like pulp.
It's absolutely delicious.
Is it? Let me try.
It really is. It is a mix of pineapple and orange, if I'm not mistaken. For the dumb ones out there who didn't understand pine for orange.
I'm a big fan of pineapple, so this
I'm
is
also,
like
no, pineapple
right
is
up
an
my alley.
underrated fruit. But that's the drinks. Enjoy them. See if you can make them last an hour and a half. I won't be able to. But we will... let's look at what we're going to be talking about today. So we are going to ask you about the most balls to the wall practical effects in film, as well as officially crowning the best film of 2025, because this was definitely shot in December and we've seen them all. But let's start at the very beginning, as it is a very good place to start. Question 1. Here we go. A single lazy Google search tells me that there are currently 781 Netflix original films. What we want to know, though, is if you had to narrow it down to absolutely only one, which one would you crown as the best Netflix original film? And we will start with Lornell.
Okay, well, my choice is All Quiet on the Western Front, which I was surprised to learn was a Netflix film.
Yeah.
I won't say where I watched it, but it wasn't on Netflix. So when I did some Googling, when I learned that it was a Netflix film, I was like, well, damn, that's the only choice I can make. I mean, it's a war film, which are traditionally, they win a lot of Oscars, let's put it that way. It's got amazing performances by these actors. It's realistic. It's harrowing. I think what also makes it a best film of Netflix is it's got this anti-war message. Because I feel like if you're going to give something the best film, it can't just be entertaining. Like, it's got to have some substance and some greater cultural relevance. So I like it as an anti-war message. Also, it does something very impressive, that it makes you sympathize with a Nazi, which is no small feat.
Please can we just clip that part?
And it's got such creative imagery, and it makes you... it has this message of how governments see human life in war as being recyclable. That opening sequence with the uniforms and the labels being ripped off was so effective. It's crazy. So that's my choice. I think All Quiet on the Western Front.
Fantastic opening statement. Let us hear from Alec.
So my choice was the Netflix film Marriage Story, which stars Scarlett Johansson and Adam Driver. And for me, for this film, what really resonates with me with films is not necessarily the plot, it's the characters. And what this film does so well is that it puts you into the heart of these characters. And as they go through the story of trying to both love each other, but have to go through the split up because they feel what's necessary, you feel the heartache, you feel what they feel. And as a person who's never been married, and so it's always hard for me to kind of figure out what does marriage life actually look like, then this gives you a very real moment of what it actually means to be married in the 21st century. The stuff that you have to go through, the child they have to bring through this, and the performances from Adam Driver in particular just absolutely took my breath away. And Scarlett Johansson just bouncing off him as well. Like, she's always great in every film, and this was just taken to the next level. And so the performances, the characters just felt real to me, and it just gives you a really good insight into how hard it is to choose to love one another. And I think that movie in particular just absolutely took my breath away with that.
Really good opening statement. And lastly, Ian.
So my choice for the best Netflix film was The White Tiger. It's a bit of a personal choice because I loved the book so much, and they adapted the book very faithfully in the movie. It forces you to grapple with a bunch of different topics. It forces you to grapple with ethics. It's like a hustler's story, but in a more like brutally honest, like savage way, you know, that shows the light and the dark of it. It's a movie with a multitude of strong messages, and like it's also very, very original. So
No, that's awesome. This is going to be a tough one. Fight it out. And don't hold back. Only one Netflix film can remain.
I have a thing with the White Tiger. Do you really think it's original? Because I feel like it's very similar to Slumdog Millionaire.
I think it takes Slumdog Millionaire and drags it basically through the mud. I think Slumdog Millionaire is a very polished version of what the White Tiger is doing. And I think with that, the White Tiger hammers home a much more powerful point than Slumdog Millionaire.
And what is that point?
That point is that it's not gloss and glamour to get to the top. It takes like really, okay, I'm going to swear, fucking people over. it takes fucking people over. It takes moral decay. Like, it's not just, oh, this good person wins the story at the end of the day. It's like, no, that's not how real life works. Like, for you to get to the top, you have to do some dark and gritty things sometimes, and the movie highlights that, where I don't think Slumdog Millionaire touches any of that.
You don't think it glorifies it a little bit then? By showing like, hey, this is what it takes to get to that point, kind of then makes it a bit of an iffy subject.
No, I don't think it glorifies it. I think it's really honest in how, like, darkly it showcases that. I think, like, it's a...
You don't think it then encourages people to be like, you know what, there's something inside of me that wants to be like an absolute a-hole to someone else. Look, in this movie, it kind of showcases this. And by all means, it's trying to go against the person and try and go against, like, this is bad. But some people will come across that and go, oh, so that's how you get to the top.
So I think that would be true if the movie glorifies the main character like that, which it doesn't. It really shows the moral decline of the main character. And that's like, unless you want to be morally declined yourself, I don't think you're going to take inspiration from that movie.
So I want to hear more about Marriage Story and All Quiet on the Western Front, because it's been real quiet on the Western Front.
What I will say about Marriage Story is I feel like it's too... It feels dramatized. Oh, I can't remember.
Dramatized.
Dramatized. Like I've heard criticisms of that big blowout, you know, where he like punches his fist through a wall. Like, people are saying like it's portraying him as like a man child, and it's not a realistic depiction of how this couple that supposedly love each other so much would fight. And then at the end, he says, like, I wish you would die. And then she comforts him. I don't like that.
So I also think Marriage Story, I would say the biggest knock on Marriage Story for me is that the acting, yes, it's brilliant, but that is about the only thing that movie has going for it. I think it's a drag to sit through. I don't think it showcases any kind of new message that we're not familiar with. It's like white privileged divorce story. You know, it's been told before.
Third world problems.
Yeah, it's been told before.
First world problems, sorry.
So I think, so there are two at the same time. So I'm trying to do one and then try the other. I feel like the walls are closing in as you say this. So one, I think that love is so complicated. It's so complicated and so nuanced, and how hate and love are so close to each other that when you are so close to someone, you almost feel like you can let loose. And I think what this movie shows so well is that sometimes those inner dark feelings just blurt out, and sometimes you can't control it. And that's because you're in the space when you love someone so much that you just are that raw person in front of them, and that's what happens in those scenes. And I've seen that in different scenarios of people getting aggressive and people getting even worse to what Adam Driver actually portrayed. And there are real moments of real stories from different people where people do actually get that hectic. Yeah. And it's from people who will say one thing, get angry in a scene, and then try and like, oh no, but I love you in another scene. And it's just that toxic relationship of just back and forth. And what is it? Is it love? Is it hate? Or is it a mix of both?
Look, I mean, I would love that story if, like, he cheated on her. Like,
yeah.
The rest of the story kind of leaves me because, sure, we can have a divorce. Maybe if the story was about, like, oh, we've just grown apart or something. He cheated on her. And then he, like, blames her for it. Like, you shouldn't have been mad that I slept with her. You should be mad that I had a laugh with her. Yeah. That movie loses me.
Another point on that is I actually think, like, I disagree a bit with Lornell about that scene. I think that scene is a highlight of the movie. I think that is, like, a high point. It's, like, really showcasing acting. It's like you said, it's showcasing how, like, destructive and toxic and powerful love can be. But then we have to sit through another like hour of just a mundane
you
story
think it
about
should
two
have ended
people who
there?
don't love.
So to go back to what you were saying
Alec, I'm
about
gonna just turn this into your closing statement. So you continue with that point, but in just for those, the closing statement is a great final opportunity to lift your movie, pull the others down, and no one's allowed to interrupt a closing
Can we
statement.
still critique All
Yes.
Quiet on the Western Front?
Yes, that's the
Okay.
thing. But do it in your closing statement. So go for it.
So to go back to what you were saying about how you feel like it is yet another story about a marriage, about love, about, you know, very like in a very mundane kind of story. But here's the thing: I am white. I am probably in that scene. And so for me, I think there is also a bit of a bias about why I connect to it so much. And I think at the end of the day, love is a very universal message. And it's something that is, when it comes to the best plots, the best narratives that have been told over and over again, love is one of them. And marriage and being in a loving and maybe hateful relationship is something that will stand the test of time for a lot longer versus something that maybe is a little bit more relevant. So personally, I'll always go towards movies that are more about, that are universal themes rather than stuff that maybe is a little bit more relevant and very specific. If we make movies that are for everyone, then we're not making it for anyone. And so I think movies that have a very personal and universal message that maybe is overdone, but when it impresses me personally, it impresses me so much, the fact that it is a standout for me. Look, there's not a lot of amazing Netflix movies. There are a dime a dozen, so don't get me wrong, this is not in like 10 out of 10 for me, but it did something different that I still remember to this day, and it just will stick to me forever as I go into my own marriage life one day.
Awesome. Lornell, give me your closing statement.
But no one's argued against my film.
Then that's a good. Okay, fair enough.
Okay.
Ian, go first.
Okay, so All Quiet on the Western Front is a visually stunning movie. I think it's shot very well. The filmography is beautiful. I do also think that is an overplayed, like, trope in movies. Like, okay, it's about war. What's the message? War is bad. Like, that's pretty much most war movies' point, is that war is bad and authority figures fuck over people beneath them. I don't think that's like an original point. It's actually also adapted from a book, and the 1930 movie that came out from it first was doing everything that the current movie tries to do anyway. So I don't think it added anything new. I don't think it added anything fresh. I think All Quiet on the Western Front, along with Marriage Story, is more of like Oscar baiting movies. I don't think they're doing anything risky. I don't think they're doing anything like amazing.
Okay, Lornell.
I mean, I don't think that to say that war is bad is a message that doesn't need repeating. It's still going, it's still relevant, it's still something that people need to confront. Every generation needs to confront it. I agree, I've seen a lot of criticism saying the 1930 version is better, but I'm arguing that it's the best Netflix film. So I haven't seen a lot of good war films on Netflix.
Hacksaw Ridge.
1917.
That's not a
same
Netflix
movie.
film.
I know.
Oh, right, Netflix original, sorry. So, there's so many other better movies, sorry.
I would go as far as saying All Quiet on the Western Front. I wish I had seen it in cinemas. Like, it was such an effective war film. To see it on the big screen, I think would have blown it out of the water for me. And just the fact that I don't think it is that normal of a war film, because we're basically with the enemy, and there's not often war films where you're on the side of the enemy. The most war films I've seen, Hacksaw Ridge, were on the Americans, the good people, the good side. Where you're seeing these German soldiers, we're seeing them live their lives in the war. We're seeing them lose friends. We're seeing them lose their humanity. We're seeing them lose their youth. But we're also seeing them have good times with their friends. And then the end is such a gut punch. You've seen all of this. You've gone through so much with these characters. And then, spoiler alert, he dies like 2 minutes before the what's it called?
The end.
Yeah, 2 minutes before the end of the war, he's killed by some random teenager. So, yeah, that's why I think it's just so good.
Okay, time. Darth Vader ends the round. I have so much I'm excited to say, but we will hear from the fact checker first. Crawl, boy.
I've already crawled.
You were there the whole time? No, I'm just-
I legit did not see him go
Caleb's
over
been there for the last hour.
I am so good at ninjaing. So, there aren't actually a lot of things I could really do a lot of fact checking on. I think
Yes.
that the big one is they're all Netflix films. So well done. You hit the
did the bare
basic
minimum.
criteria. You did the bare minimum. But what is interesting is that White Tiger was first shown in cinemas and then released on Netflix. Love Story also had a limited theatrical
Marriage Story.
Sorry. Marriage Story. Marriage Story
glad I
also
got my
had a
point
limited
across.
release after its success on
Yeah.
Netflix. And then, I was going to say, haha, I bet you didn't know All Quiet on the Western Front was shown in cinemas, but that's obviously because of the first film in 1930, which we didn't cover. So I can't claim that little victory, but that's literally it from me.
That's perfect. Yes, this is one of the first times in Plot Armor history where the point was 100% going to everyone at some point. Like, yep, it's, that's interesting. So, very well done. That means all three of you did a great job at arguing.
We're all equal, but one is more equal.
Yeah,
than the other.
exactly. That is exactly what it is today. I will say, Ian, I really love that you didn't just go for the obvious. You went with something personal and an interesting story. And There tell you what, I will be watching The White Tiger very soon. And I was like, please don't spoil everything. Okay, if nothing.
You should. You
yeah,
should.
so I'm
That's
definitely
good.
going to watch it. But there was someone that stood slightly higher with their passion for it. Alec, I really love how, I know it's overwhelming when people are coming from every angle, but you did a very good job at countering those points. And I could see that you spoke from a personal space in how you handled the conversation about love and marriage. And it is intricate, but you spoke about it beautifully. My issue is, and why you don't get the point, is I think your rebuttal to the other people's movies fell a bit flat, especially to White Tiger. It came across too strong that you haven't seen the movie. So, but I really liked how you tackled Marriage Story. I think, Lornell, for your passion in your debate and just covering every point so succinctly, I think you should get the first point. I think I'm very sad because I almost watched All Quiet on the Western Front, and then I just didn't get time. And I'm so sad to know that he dies at the end, but it's not your fault. It's not your fault. It's my fault.
should have told me.
I knew what your answer is. No, the viewers, it's my fault. At least you warned me. Caleb usually doesn't.
Burn.
So I think you covered it beautifully, and it's a movie I always wanted to see, and I really want to go see
I'm
it.
so sorry.
No.
I
It is.
ruined
It's
it in-
no. It's 100% my own fault. I knew. Here's a fun little fact. Lornell had a different answer that she changed to this answer.
did, yeah.
Oh no, that's for another point.
Never mind.
Bottom line, there was a movie Lornell did have as an answer that I went to go watch because I was scared of spoilers, and then she changed it. But thank you for making me watch it. So good job on the first point going to you. We will move on to the second question, but this is very much a fair game. Don't worry, Alec, you got this. You look so nervous.
No, I'm just trying to think now. Like, I need to watch White Tiger then.
No. I'm excited to see it. I like the theme
It's
of it.
good. You guys will like it.
Yeah.
It's very different.
We'll
It's
do
very,
part
very
2
different.
so I can argue.
Yeah,
better.
okay, it wasn't really that good. Okay, question 2. Horror movies are full of scary scenes, but some non-horror films also have a few chucked in there. So think back and think hard and tell us, what is the scariest scene from a non-horror film? And we will start with Alec, I say, as he takes his...
As I picked this up, I was like, what's this mother trucker? Let's start with me first. Okay, so let's go back to when we were kids, all right? And you go watch a film that you think is just a fun Charlie and the Chocolate Factory with everyone's favorite Johnny Depp. And we get these scenes with these children who are, once again, children and not adults, who go through these different... parts of the factory that are meant to show how whimsical and amazing this factory is, but in actual fact, as you know by Roald Dahl, is that not everything is as normal as it may seem. And that's something as a kid I didn't really fully understand, and so some scenes were also pretty dark, but the one in particular was the squirrel attack scene. And the reason why that just messed with me, maybe because also kind of, if you've seen the scene, what basically happens is that the squirrels are now checking these nuts to see whether or not they're good. And if they're not good nuts, they throw them down this dark hole that I presume goes to the deepest part of hell. And so that made me originally just go, that is just so, I don't know what is down there, but I don't want to ever go down there. And the scene proceeds to then show a little girl get attacked by these squirrels who are meant to be these friendly.
Oh, where she does like this.
Yes, and they're all over her, and she's getting covered by them, and the adults are just standing there. Willy Wonka's trying to go through keys like it's absolutely nothing. Little kid me is going screaming, going, "Oh my gosh, go save that little girl," thinking I was the little girl who's now getting attacked by these squirrels, all because she wanted a squirrel, which was wrong of her to do because she was a spoiled brat. Don't get me wrong, she deserved what she got, but at the end of the day, where she ended up in, who knows? She is probably down in that hole to this day, and that's where my brain sits. And to this day, is even though you see at the end of the movie,
I was about to say.
for me, she's in hell. I don't know who came out of that hell. Yeah.
Okay, Caleb, fact check. Does that hole lead to hell? Okay, we'll go with Ian next.
Okay, so I went with like coming from a similar place, like childhood trauma. I guess that's like
A recurring theme.
yeah, that would be the way to go if you're tackling a topic like this. So I went with Judge Claude Frollo's song Hellfire in The Hunchback of Notre Dame. It is a moment where Disney accidentally reveals true evil. Like actual, that's like evil that people can recognize, you know? That's not like this whimsical villain doing something like supernatural or whatever. It's like, no, it's a pious holy man, a judge, a minister going into this like lustful damnation, like Gregorian chant, absolutely horrifying song about how he basically either he wants to like get this gypsy woman for lustful reasons, or he wants her to burn in hell. And he also knows that he's going to burn in hell if he does. It's just all around. The imagery is terrifying. The song itself is terrifying with the Gregorian chants. It's just like, I don't know who signed off to put that song in the movie and scar children like me for the rest of their lives.
Really good. Lornell.
So I'd like you to take us back to our childhood.
Y'all had weird childhood, huh?
And you're watching this movie about this chocolate factory and about these children.
I've never heard this before.
Tell me more.
So I also chose, funnily enough, from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, but the Gene Wilder one.
Yeah, you got the Willy Wonka and the Chuck.
Yes.
So I'm taking the older version, the boat scene. So again, same premise as you know. This beautiful, whimsical, cool movie where this kid that we root for is going to the chocolate factory and going to have the time of his life, and we're hating all these kids, and it's just a fun old movie. And then they get on this beautiful, what is it, a swan boat? Fact checker. Some kind of boat that's beautiful and pink, I think. And we're going down this gorgeous chocolate river, and then we enter into this kind of ominous looking tunnel. That's a ominous looking tunnel. And then suddenly just images of hell just on the walls, and Gene Wilder having a dissociative episode while rapping. When I watched that movie as a kid, I was such whiplash. I was terrified. Like there's bugs in that scene, and these kids are screaming, and the adults are screaming, and then the worst part is the scene ends and the movie just continues like that didn't just happen. And then the whole rest of the movie, I remember thinking, like, is that going to happen again? Like, should I brace myself? So that has left a scar on my heart. That boat scene in that movie.
That's awesome. Okay, fight it out.
Okay, so I'm like in a weird place where I have to fight off two chocolate factory scenes.
Yeah, you might get diabetes by the end of that.
It's like if you had a nickel for something.
Yeah.
It happened twice.
So I will say this. I think the squirrel scene is not as scary as the boat scene. I think the boat scene is inherently more scary because it's like it actually reveals Gene Wilder's like super creepy self, which we always knew was there. That's like, you know, like Willy Wonka is a freak. Like Johnny Depp also like freaky people. Like, but I do think both of these scenes have tremendous comedic relief. I don't think they yeah.
Where do you get comedic
so when the
I was
boat
not
ride
laughing
ends,
one moment.
so when the boat ride ends, it's just like, oh, we're here, and then it's like that's like a comedic payoff. That's a comedic relief. In the squirrel scene, it's like, oh, the squirrel is like, it's terrifying when they climb on her, but then he knocks on her head like, oh, this is a bad nut. We're gonna throw that. Like that's an inherently like comedic. That's a funny scene. Like both of those, I could say are like bit creepy, but overall funny. Where mine is actually just like, there's no sugarcoating it, and there's no comedic relief, and there's no payoff. You're just left with this dude that's like.
But I don't know if I would classify that scene as scary though. Like it's deeply.
Well, here's the main thing before you carry on. It's animated. It's a cartoon.
I don't
How
think
do you be scared of a cartoon? I've never been scared of a cartoon besides Monster Hunts.
Oh, his real squirrel.
Yeah, you're scared of the squirrels. Squirrels were animated.
No, they look real. They look real. They are real Mahasa.
CGI squirrels.
For that scene, I don't know that it's scary. It's disturbing and it's very moving, but I don't know that it would give me nightmares, you know? Like it's the imagery is very effective, but it's no like The Conjuring, you know? There's no jump scares.
For me personally, the red hooded figures like rising up with flames behind them is terrifying imagery in itself. And I also think scariness is subjective. I don't think like none of us, for instance, chose jump scares like The Conjuring or anything like that. We didn't choose jump scares. Everything is like kind of creepy, ominous. Like that's the kind of route we all took. I just think mine does not let you down easily. Mine just let you sit in that.
So like I said, animated, so it's hard for me to really connect with you in that sense, because considering that they're still just like these animated things that are drawings that are jumping up and trying to make me scared. To go back to your scene in terms of reason why I did consider the boat scene, but the reason why I don't think that's that scary is because at the end of the day, it was very forced in my opinion. I don't think the squirrel scene was necessarily trying to be super hard to be as dark as it was for me, because of the fact that it was trying to just showcase this little girl, like for me, it was just that hole and her going down that hole. I think it was unintentionally scary, which I think makes it even more to the point of a non-horror movie having a scary scene, because it connects to me personally. But to your boat scene, I feel like it's very forced. Like you can obviously tell that they're trying very hard to make, with all the imagery that they throw at you, all the overacting, I think from I can't remember his name, Gene Wilder. I just think that was just very it was just very forced. And so for me, it was never been that scary. And yeah, cartoons.
But like, it's a squirrel. Like, are you really that scared? Like,
So listen to your final argument.
I feel like you're telling me she got scared because she got attacked by a moth.
About 50 squirrels.
No, 50 squirrels.
I'd like to see how you're going to react when you see that many squirrels come at you and surround you as a little girl. You're not the woman that you are now today. You are a defenseless little girl who's getting surrounded by these things that you once thought were sweet and cuddly and wanted to be your friend, turn into the absolute worst thing that threw you into hell.
Okay, my final argument.
Yeah, now you've passion of
Sorry.
That's fine.
So I think my scene is the scariest because of the whiplash, because of how this movie is so whimsical and so fluffy and happy, where I feel like with the Your Willy Wonka scene, like it's off-putting from the start. Like those dolls that he burns in the beginning, like it kind of puts you in that mindset to be like, yeah, this is going to be weird. You're going to see children mutilated and because he is that one kid being stretched at the end. Whereas mine is just so out of left field. Like it's like an old-fashioned slow burn jump scare, wherein that you were not expecting this to happen. You are suddenly confronted with these disgusting images. You're 6, 7, 8 years old, and I bet your parents didn't even know that was going to happen. So that's why I think mine's scarier. And I mean, with the Frollo one, I do not think it's scary. Like it's evocative and it's good. I love that scene, by the way. It is my favorite scene in that whole movie. I listened to that song in the car, and I know all the lyrics. But I don't find it that scary. I don't find the imagery that scary.
Okay, great. Alec, give me your closing.
So as my closing, I do want to say that, to go back to what we were saying about how horror is very subjective, it's a very personal thing. And so the reason why I think that not necessarily that I'm right, but I know that I'm right personally because it's what I experienced.
Yeah.
And like you even mentioned before, there were seeds into this movie about different that built up to that scene being even scarier than what it could have been because of the seeds that were built into the other scenes. Whereas in your particular scene was out of nowhere, and did it really pay off? Like, did it really make sense at the end? I feel like the Johnny Depp version was a way more twisted, messed up version than the one we got with Gene Wilder, and that's a cartoon.
Okay, Ian, close it out for us.
Okay, so yeah, I think yet again to hammer home that scary is a subjective concept. Like, we're not all scared of the same things. I find real events that you can identify with, like way scarier than whimsical fantasy stuff that has comedic relief. Like, I think something that makes you see a man go into like this lustful like hellfire song is like it resonates with what we've seen from powerful people before. It's like, that's why I say it's a scene where Disney accidentally reveals true evil. And I think that scene will sit with anyone, not just kids. Because I think the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory stuff can, like, yes, it can terrify a kid, but I think Cloud Frollo's Hellfire can terrify adults.
Beautiful ending. Fact checker, give us a beautiful beginning.
A beautiful beginning. What? So, what I love, and we've actually done this a few times, especially where I'm fact checking, where Willy Wonka is like the subject.
We've fact checked him so many times.
I know so much. His real name is Willard
Wonka. Not William. It's Willard.
I've seen that from another episode.
Yes. So let us continue talking about Willy Wonka.
Willard.
Willard Wonka.
He's not your friend. It's Willard.
His dad is a dentist.
Yes. So let's actually go. Basically, all of this is just about Charlie and Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Nothing about Frollo. So, what hole is she thrown down? The chute she is thrown down takes all of the bad nuts to a trash compactor where there is also an incinerator that goes off every Tuesday.
Okay, so weekly hell.
And it was Tuesday that day. Yeah.
And then you spoke about, okay, so in regards to the boats, in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, which is the one that you were referencing, it is a blue boat. In Charlie and the Chocolate Factory,
Such a specific fact.
it is a pink boat with the seahorse. It's Viking style.
I see.
Okay.
Got my images mixed up.
The squirrels in the 2005 film were real.
Animate. No.
Were real. They were.
Famously.
They were famously real.
I forgot they were.
ones
They
on there.
trained the squirrels. I mean,
Yes.
it's a famous fact. I
Even the
forgot.
ones on
There's
there.
no way. There's definitely some
There
CGI.
are some scenes that are CGI, but it is primarily.
That's why they look so good.
Yes.
No, that's a good point. And
Yes.
I should have known that because it's a famous fact.
Like
about
the
that
scene
movie.
where they're running, that's real squirrels.
No, most of it. It's like more than you think. More than you think.
Like it is like part of their marketing for
Yes,
Charlie.
yeah.
Or
I
for Willy-
forgot about that.
Was literally them talking about how smart these squirrels are.
Yeah.
I remember watching a behind the scenes like thing on a DVD special feature where they're talking about how smart these squirrels are. But talking about squirrels and how terrifying they can be, there is not a single reported death of humans.
Really? Not even one?
Not even one. I was really disappointed, but there has been no human deaths directly
But
attributed
that's
to
one
squirrels.
squirrel versus one human. I'm talking about 50 squirrels versus one human.
I mean, those were real squirrels, and that girl didn't
Exactly.
die.
That's all the facts I have for you today.
Once again, fantastic job, and I did.
Thank you, Caleb.
Yeah, I did. Don't thank him; it's his job.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's tough because it's. It was going a few ways. Alec has trypophobia because he's scared of holes, so we'll leave that. He's got a whole fear of holes. I think there's a line. I'm going to cut this short. Willie's nut won't be winning, and Charlie's boat won't be winning, and Ian's going to take the point because there's a line I was hoping you'd say towards the end. I'm like, I clicked what was happening here. Is you two were painting such a beautiful picture of how you were terrified as children, and I knew if Ian highlighted that it expands beyond that he would get the point. Of course, I'm not saying this couldn't be scary for adults, but that was never. It was very child focused, and that wasn't necessarily the question. So I love how you took an angle and you made it, and that whole idea of this is the fear of whimsy versus something that feels real, a real fear. beautifully highlighted, but all round good job. I at first, to be honest, going in, I was like, I didn't get why yours was scary. I was like, okay, but the picture you're painting for me, because I don't even know if I've, to be honest, ever seen a Hunchback.
It's a banger of a song.
I don't know.
The song is so good.
I don't think I have. And I understand why there's no live action version.
I watched it as a kid. It wasn't that memorable.
No,
No, you just hate cartoons.
It's the one Disney
actually love
remake they
animated
will
movies.
never make.
No, because it's just so dark.
But also, like, just on the whole cartoon thing, I can name 5 terrifying scenes from Finding Nemo. Like, that's just one of them.
actually, yeah, when Bruce smiles, like
and
behind
also
the
just
fish,
that whale slowly approaching them that is the reason I'm scared of the deep ocean at the moment.
I just want to just make it clear. I love animated films. Just need that to be clear. I love animated films.
but they can never be scary.
Scary. But honestly, it's like, once again, genuinely don't think that it's anyone's running away with anything, because it's been close every single time. But we will go on to question 3. Before computers, there was no CGI. Effects had to be done in camera, fully practically. And after computers, well, there's still a lot of practical effects around. I guess computers have nothing to do with this. We're asking you, what's the most impressive practical effects in a movie? And we will start with Lornell.
With me?
Yes.
Okay, so my choice is Jurassic Park, because to this day, I still believe that's what dinosaurs look like. No, I'm kidding. No, it was so effective as portraying dinosaurs that it even like influenced the scientific community. Like that even though there was kind of like no proof that dinosaurs look like that, kind of the scientific community just kind of rolled with it. They were like, it's so effective and so realistic, like we're just gonna go with it. I mean, I could be I can see fact checking over there.
Caleb about to fact check the
What do you mean?
entire
He's over
scientific
there. What are you talking
community.
about?
Oh, yeah,
Sorry.
okay, yeah. So maybe I could be wrong there, but the biggest thing that comes to mind is that scene when they're in the kitchen. I can't exactly remember. I think it's the raptors.
Yeah.
Where that raptor like opens the door and then they come in. Like, it is so effective. Like, you can't. When I watched that movie, I like even went back and looked at it now. Even knowing that it's practical effects, it's so good. The way that it looks, the way that it interacts with the environment, that I'm sold. Like, these dinosaurs looked so real. And that scene in The Rain with the Tyrannosaurus Rex, where it puts the glass roof down on the kids. It's so effective. And like, that's not just, to be fair, not just the practical effects. It's the way they film it. It's the way the actors interact with the practical effects. But I would argue that that's part of it. Because, you know, you could have the best practical effects in the world, but if your actor looks like they're acting to a puppet, it destroys your amazing practical effects. So that's why I think Jurassic Park is the best practical effects.
Awesome. Alec?
I think, sorry, just to piggyback off a little bit what you were saying, I think it's so important. The reason why practical effects are so good is because it really helps the actor act better, because they're working with something that is a lot more. And so I think Jurassic Park, sorry, I'm not meant to be arguing right now.
Yeah, you are.
But to go into what I know what the next answer is. Christopher Nolan is the master class when it comes to practical effects. He is amazing. And so I picked Inception, one, because it is my favorite movie of all time. And two, I think it's the best use of practical effects because it is this movie is meant to be about dream within a dream. And what Christopher Nolan managed to do with the sets is make the film feel dreamlike when it came to those dream scenarios. And yet he still used very practical sets, very practical action scenes, very practical moments. When it comes to the most iconic one where they're in that hallway that's getting flipped, the actor is actually in that hallway acting and fighting those other people, and the scene as it's going around, it is less acting and more doing. And I think Christopher Nolan does a fantastic job in Inception to let the actors live in those moments and be in those moments, and Inception just does it at its best.
Awesome. And Ian?
Cool. I agree that Christopher Nolan is... I agree Christopher Nolan is the master of practical effects, but I don't think Inception is the best showcase for that. I think the best showcase for that is Dunkirk. Reason being, Dunkirk lives in its practical effects. It can't be the movie without any of the practical effects where, like, okay, I'll get into arguing later. But I think that whole movie is made so immersive by the lengths Christopher Nolan went to make everything 100% real. He used real World War II planes and boats, real explosions, did it on the real beaches of Normandy, had to actually get out real landmines still stuck from World War II and blow them up as well. It's like, it's so immersed in its practical effects that I think there's no other choice for the best use of practical effects in a movie than Dunkirk.
Awesome, find it out. Yeah, go for it. Alec, go.
Okay, so
Raring to go.
the reason why I think Dunkirk is an easier practical effects movie is because it's dealing with stuff that is very much that it's not necessarily that it's recent. Well, one, they can get a lot of that stuff very quickly, and so it's very much stuff that is just kind of, they can just pick up and run with it. Whereas Inception has to manipulate sets to make it look like those dream moments that are happening. So Dunkirk, while its practical effects are obviously amazing, it's just there's a lot of a lot of war movies that try to get somewhere close, and Christopher Nolan obviously takes it to the next step. But it's obviously a lot easier the steps that he needs to take, because a lot of war movies do also try and use really practical
so effects. I don't think it's easy to to build the sets to the scale that Christopher Nolan did. And also back to what you said in your initial point is where the practical effects make the actors better, it makes them immersed. Dunkirk makes them immersed so much more because the explosions are actually happening right beside them. That's like real panic. That's real terror.
Explosions in Inception also happened. All the pop effects that you think are so special effects are actually happening in real time.
But Inception also used a lot of CGI to like kind of really complete the dreamscape. Like, and don't get me wrong, I also think Inception is a great movie, but I don't think it's the best use of practical effects in Christopher Nolan's lineup. And getting to Jurassic Park, I also think it is a absolute like milestone for animatronics. I think it's probably the best use of animatronics we will ever see because we've moved past that point. Like, we're not using animatronics anymore because CGI can fulfill the same purpose. I think that movie was limited to its time, and they did a brilliant job of finding a practical way to serve a purpose, but I do think CGI can serve that purpose now, as it did in Inception. I don't think CGI can serve the purpose in Dunkirk.
I would argue, though, that Dunkirk's practical effects are kind of just props. Not props in the way in that it props up the story. I mean, like, is it really a practical effect if you give a real gun to someone?
That's what I'm saying. It's so easy to get those practical effects.
I wouldn't say easy was the best. Is the
no,
best
but obviously, but I'm saying in the Hollywood, when it comes to getting those, there's a lot of war movies, and so there are a lot of them are thinking, "Hey, I want to get those real stuff into my movies." And Christopher Nolan just went above and beyond to make sure that happened. But at the end of the day, there's a lot of war films that are doing exactly that.
My argument is just I wouldn't call it practical effects. I would call it props. I would call it art department. Practical effects, I feel, I would include explosions in that for sure. But in terms of like filming on the beach in Normandy, that's location scouting. I wouldn't call that practical effects. Even using like real war machines or using actual airplanes, I wouldn't call that practical effects. I would call that a really good art department. So I'm not arguing that it's amazing and it's great. I just don't know that it's practical effects.
I feel like that could be, you could say the same thing for Jurassic Park, where it's props and art departments like working on the dinosaurs rather than being practical effects. I think practical effects is anything that provides an effect in a movie. And
but then
everything that Dunkirk,
effects. You could call the set work practical effects.
So please. So you were saying earlier about how that it's not just puppets. I think this is just like a bigger version of a puppet, and the practicalness of Jurassic Park, while revolutionary for its time, was very just set to just the animatronics of the dinosaurs, and didn't take it any further with the sets or with how the movie felt. Like it stops at the animatronics in terms of impressiveness. It's just the moving dinosaurs.
I agree. So I also think
My
that...
turn to your closing statement.
Okay, so I do think like attacking practical effects as a concept doesn't touch Dunkirk, because like if you look at in the like halls of history of like the best practical effects used in movies, Dunkirk is definitely going to be on that list. Like the practical effects are what make the movie. I don't think that's arguable. I do think yet again that Jurassic Park is was a stepping stone in animatronics, but it served a purpose. CGI now serves that purpose. Inception has one very, very good scene using practical effects, but it's not included in the whole movie. It's the rotating hall was brilliant, but the rest was propped up by CGI.
Okay, yeah, Alec.
Jurassic Park, for its time, not too bad, but it just didn't take enough steps forward to be on the scale that a Christopher Nolan film is. When you look at probably the best practical effects movies, Christopher Nolan films will probably take up those top 10 spaces, given how amazing they are. They're probably just going to be a Christopher Nolan top 10 films. But what I think Inception does that takes it a step further is that we've seen war movies, we know how they feel. We haven't seen a lot of films that have really brought to life what it means to be in a dreamlike state. And I think that the practical effects that Christopher Nolan used here really gave that feeling with the cinematography and the sets that he built here, just gave that dreamlike quality that is so unique to this film that I don't think any other film was ever able to ever create.
Lornell.
I don't think it's fair to say that Jurassic Park for its time, like if you go back and watch those movies now, I think they hold up. Like I think those practical effects are still effective today. The animatronics, they were a big part of it, yes, but it wasn't the only part. Like the using the dinosaurs to create the whole world of the film, like everything about the film is about those dinosaurs. I mean, there's that scene with the eggs and stuff in the beginning where they're showing off like how the dinosaurs were created or recreated. I think it holds up. If you go and watch that today, it's effective at what it does. It brings you into the film. It doesn't alienate you from the film, which I feel like bad practical effects will do. And that's why I think it's still the best practical effects, because I think a lot of your stuff was helped by CGI and stuff. And I think Jurassic Park was also helped by CGI, especially in like the later releases or re-releases. But that's why I think it's still good. I think it still holds up.
Okay, that's time. The fact checker is fact checking.
I'm still fact checking.
Okay, I'll buy some time.
Okay, a pause.
Buy time,
a pause
time
for
buying.
the fact checker.
Yeah, what I will say, Caleb, I have stuff to say. I will say one thing.
Please say a lot.
Okay, one thing I will say is that one of my favorite rebuttals in plot armor history happened. There's a thing that
Right now?
yeah, but I can't say but the problem is, even though it's one of my favorite rebuttals ever, it won't win the point for that person. But we'll get there. Maybe it will. Maybe there's some crazy fact about to come out that.
Can I talk about that?
Yes, talk. Go ahead. Yeah.
That scene with the rotating tunnel. I mean, this is technically still an argument, but it's a good thing and a bad thing. I've seen
You
that.
can respond to whatever she's about to say.
You're wrong.
I've seen that in they use it in like music videos as well, and you see it in like fun houses and stuff. But the way that like Christopher Nolan elevates it, that it doesn't feel like a cheap trick. That I genuinely buy, that like it's gravity changing. Yeah. I thought that was so cool.
Yeah, it's fine. I won't hold it against you. You don't get to respond.
I'm so confused. Can we please have that in there?
Yeah, like, what she said.
What she said.
Caleb,
Okay.
get your ass out here.
Okay.
Are you supposed to pop out?
Caleb?
Get down.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
So there was a lot of stuff that was said, not opinionatedly, but as a matter of fact. And so many people were like, well, you can't say this because of this and that. And then I was like, holy crap, shut up. I need to. So I tried my best to fact check as much as I could. I had to let some stuff slide, but I would.
Let us know in the comments.
No,
Let us know in the comments if I forget
This is
one.
the biggest prologue to fact checking.
Yes,
we've ever
because
gone
I need to make sure that people know I
Give
tried.
us some
Yeah, this is the
engagement.
Star Wars prequels of.
So something that is interesting is both Jurassic Park and Inception won awards for special effects. Dunkirk did not. Dunkirk was praised for its use of practical effects, but the awards it won were specifically for visual effects work,
Was it even nominated?
That's the same thing.
which is
it's-
which is similar but
It's
not the same
CGI
thing.
versus
How
practical.
would you differentiate?
Visual is so special effects is the term used often for not CGI for practical. Visual effects is the term used in the academy specifically for CGI. So visual effects is altered and special effects is mostly used.
So I would just like that. I think that is a,
No, it's
is a, is
valid,
a
it's
valid
valid,
thing.
yeah.
Jurassic Park won its awards for special effects. This is important as well, due to its groundbreaking and realistic combination of animatronics and CGI.
Oh, really? Okay.
Dunkirk did not use real mines. for its explosions.
I didn't say it used it in the movie.
No,
I
he said
not say
they
that.
cleared them
Yeah,
for the
I
sake
said,
of
I said
filming.
it was just on the
Okay.
actual beaches of Normandy, and they had to
did
clear them.
use real ships and planes for authenticity. Dunkirk used minimal real explosions. It used primarily pyrotechnics, but avoided relying on explosions as much as possible. Parts of Dunkirk were actually filmed around the actual town of Dunkirk, yes. Hooray. That was just something that was said, and I was like, okay, that's an easy one. Okay, for Inception, which won an award for its visual effects because of its groundbreaking integration of practical effects along with digital effects. This
Seems like
included
that's the
the
case for all of
100-foot long corridor, which was all practical, as well as using air cannons and specifically fragile sets to create the explosions. Yes, that is all from me. Thank you very
Roll
much.
that clip.
It's actually that pause and the fact checking stuff. I think it might be one of the first times where fact checking changed my mind on who to give the points to. So I've changed my
I saw
mind.
that
Yeah, the person who gave the great rebuttal is the person who will be getting the point. The point that although Lornell to a degree helped carry the point, Alec brought it up first, and that is when you kind of like shifted my perspective, like they do in Inception, where Ian's opening statement, I was like, oh, guess he's getting the point. But then you did this beautiful thing of saying you made a real thing real, where my movie took a fake thing and made it real with practical effects. I think it's a beautiful, the way you said it, everything there. I really love what you did there because it completely changed my perspective on the question, which doesn't happen often from the host's perspective. And at first I didn't want to give you the point because I felt there was maybe a better carrying of their films. But my biggest problem with their two films is actually it's more on Jurassic Park, not so much Dunkirk, is the fact that it's actually more famous for its use of CGI than it is for its use of practical effects. The Tyrannosaurus Rex in the rain.
Fact check that.
Sure.
I did.
I lose.
No,
it's-
no,
I know.
it is the big
invented-
thing. The fact checker shall speak. The big thing is the fact that it's obviously the animatronics were impressive.
Yeah.
But it was the combination of animatronics with the CGI.
Yeah, so the whole thing is
the
very
kitchen scene
yeah.
specifically used a lot of CGI. So
But
like it used a lot of practical effects, but that's why it's the combination of the two that.
So I just felt dirty. I couldn't give Jurassic Park that point. And I think Alec, that's just I like that you did that, the way you shifted my perspective. I think you could have carried more weight in other elements of your film where practical effects were used. You focused a little bit too much on specific parts, but I still think you get the point just for that very nice takedown.
I didn't realize I
of
had more
Dunkirk.
time to cover so many different scenes.
No, you go for it. You can just pop up. So, Alec, that point will go to you. So that was very good, very tough, and we have 1 point all around. So it is no one's got it in the bag just yet. We will go to question 4. Imagine this. You've just moved to a new neighborhood in a new city where you don't know anyone. Your mom sends you to go make friends with the neighbor. You walk over to the house next to yours in great anticipation. You knock, and the door slowly starts to open to reveal your answers. In other words, which movie character would make the best friend? And we will start with Ian.
Okay, so I think this is also a very personal kind of question. I think it should reflect what you personally value in a friendship. I don't think there's an objective answer. But I think the best friend, who would make the best friend, is Dr. King Schultz from Django Unchained. I think he is like building Django up in the best way, but not just being a supporting character. I think he learns from Django. Django learns from him. They both grow as characters from this friendship. I think, and for me personally, what I would value in a friendship is someone, intelligent, witty, challenges me, wants me to grow, sees my potential. I think that is showcasing the best of what a friendship could be. So that is my pick for who would be the best friend.
Awesome. And we will go with Lorna.
I think that the best friend is Samwise Gamgee from Lord of the Rings, because he literally goes to Mordor, with Sam. If you think about other, best friend characters in movies, like Ronald Weasley, they let the hero go alone to the final confrontation, where Sam is literally right there. He carries Frodo up the mountain, up the volcano. But also the fact that he's so sweet, he's so kind. He goes with Frodo to the end. He overcomes his own temptation with the ring. In the books, it mentions how the ring, it's so funny actually, the ring tries to tempt him, obviously, like it does. And it tries to show him you're going to be the leader of the universe and you're going to rule over all these people. But it doesn't work. So you know what it does? It starts telling Sam but what if you had a really big garden? A really pretty garden, and that's what it uses to tempt Sam. So I'm saying that to get to the bottom of his character as a good best friend, and the way he never abandons Frodo, even when Frodo pushes him away, when he starts siding with Gollum and really falling to the darkness of the ring.
Oh, good job. And Alec.
All right, so we all seen Hot Fuzz. What a classic film. And why I think that Danny Butterman makes a fantastic friend is because we've all, maybe not all of us, but I have moved to new places. And when Nicholas moves into a new area, he is pretty much alone. And Danny...
What is Peace Lily?
Yeah, I guess so. And an ex-wife or an ex-girlfriend. And Danny is there to be his mate and kind of just goes out of his way to want to be friends with Nicholas, and the beautiful friendship that comes out of it with the love of movies. I love a person who can also just relate with me with movies. I think that he's fantastic at just showing Nicholas a side that maybe he doesn't know. I think that's friends are so important, to show you other sides of life that you didn't know that you could enjoy. Danny shows the beautifulness of movies to Nicholas, which I think is really great. And at the end of the day, he's also a ride or die. He ends up, sorry, spoiler alert, hopefully everyone's seen the movie.
This one's safe.
Okay. He chooses to go with Nicholas over his own village and his father. And the fact that he was there for Nicholas, because he saw the evil that this village was doing, so it was maybe a bit of an easy choice, but instead he literally forego his father and his village and his family to be with this friend that he's only been friends with for maybe a couple of weeks. I'm not sure what the timeline is, but it's not very long. And the fact that he's there just shows the character, the values that Danny has, and that is to be a loyal, good friend who can also have a good time, like we've seen in the pub sections and in the movie section.
Perfect. Fight it out.
Cool. So I think I'm yet again attacking kind of similar character archetypes here. I think both with Samwise Gamgee and Danny Butterman, I think they serve as servitude, loyal companions to a main character. I don't think that that's what I see as a best friend. What I see as a best friend is someone who's not just idolizing me and following me and doing whatever I'm doing and just thinking I'm the best. I want someone to challenge me. I want someone to see my flaws and point them out and try to make me better. I think Samwise is like the very obvious easy pick for a best friend, because he is the character of loyalty.
Yeah, he's the best friend.
No, he is a loyal gardener. and similar with Danny Butterman, he just idolizes like Nicholas because he's like this big town cop coming to a small town, and he just wants to watch cop movies with him and like wants to learn from him, wants to idolize him, wants to follow him to the ends of the earth, like wants to just basically support him. I don't think a best friend should be doing that. Again, it's a personal thing, but I don't think a best friend should just follow you blindly.
I do agree that a best friend should be able to call out things in you. And I think that once the relationship between Danny and Nicholas starts to get big, I think that will happen. But what you're describing here with the Doctor and with Django, it feels more like a mentorship than a best friend. It just feels like it's a very much just the Doctor kind of just trying to bring out the best out of Django, which is more of a mentorship kind of relationship.
I don't think it's a mentorship kind of relationship, because a mentor would not be willing to learn anything from the person he's mentoring.
Well, I've been in many situations where mentors definitely learned from me, or I've seen in other. So I don't think that's
Although
true.
I don't think that's the classic thing. That's the classic relationship between a mentor and mentee. I don't know. I don't think that's.
I don't know. I'm thinking of Anakin and Obi-Wan. Like they learnt each other from a lot.
I feel like I could also make the argument.
Didn't work out very well.
It didn't work out well, 100%.
I feel like I could also make the argument with Django Unchained between. Sorry, what's the character's name again?
Dr. King Schultz.
Dr. King Schultz. I feel like I could also make the argument of a discrepancy in like levels of like between mentor, best friend, in that in the social reality that they're in, Django doesn't have the same amount of freedoms and rights that the white guy does. So I feel like the power imbalance is still
it makes
there.
it easier for him to be that person for
So
him.
kind of.
But he drags him into equality, kicking and screaming. Like
for sure.
he literally makes a point to see him as an equal when the rest of the world doesn't. And that's what I would also value in a best friend. If someone doesn't treat me well, but this one person sees my value and treats me well, I would see that as a best friend. And again, on the mentorship, I don't think like the whole scene where like Django kind of confronts Dr. King Schultz about like how he could just like kill this family for money. I know it's a bit like he's a bounty hunter, which we're working with the times here, but like how he could just kill this family. Like that guy, that man has a son walking alongside him. You have to like confront that, and he does listen to Django. He does value Django's input, and they both help each other grow.
Yeah, but still at the same time, there is like what you're saying. There's an imbalance of the time of where this guy's coming from, and I do think for me a friendship like is very similar to maybe Samwise in terms of just a loyal best friend. And to go back to one of your points you were saying earlier about how he like idolized Nicholas as Danny, I think that what was so amazing about the friendship, especially in the film, is that that Nicholas started to show the cracks of how human he was, and yet he still chose Nicholas to be the best friend. He still chose to choose him at the end and help him and be a ride or die friend by the end, even though he showed that at the end of the day, Nicholas was nothing but just a human.
Always blindly following him. Like
Okay, Lornell, final argument.
I mean, you could make the argument that is it really friendship? I mean, it might be a bad thing to say about it's Danny. It might be a bad thing to say that, oh, he just chooses to do the right thing out of friendship. I feel like that's not a good thing to say about his character. I think he would.
I never said that.
No, because you're saying he chooses.
He chose it because he saw the evil in the family and his values.
But then why hasn't he chosen it before? You could say like, oh no, he's doing it because of this, because of the friendship. But like,
no, he's doing it because he sees the values that he has is the goodness that Nicholas is representing. That shows the values that he's choosing over, even though his family has been there his entire life, he's choosing the values that he has, not necessarily Nicholas.
Okay, but I do understand the 2 points. Continue with your closing.
Oh, right, closing. I forgot. Okay. So again, the reason I really think Samwise is the best friend because of all the stakes that we have spoken about before. Like, sure, you could argue the master servant relationship. I don't think I would follow my master into Mordor and the fires of Mount Doom. Like, I think it transcends that. Like, he could have, if he didn't see Frodo as a friend, as someone who deserved that loyalty beyond just like the social, you are my master and I'm your gardener, he would have been like, okay, peace. Like, I think I've done my duty. But he carried on. He carried him into Mount Doom. He followed him when he could have been like, oh, my master has abandoned me. Guess I'll just go back to my garden and my wife and my children. So And he doesn't. He sticks with Frodo. He's loyal. He's a loyal, good friend. He is a strong companion. So I feel like that's why it elevates him, is because of the stakes of what their friendship costs.
Alec?
So I do think that as much as like Samwise is a really good friend, I think at the end of the day, what kind of drives him is that he's very emotional. Those scenes where he was trying to prove that Gollum was bad for Frodo, he got very emotional in those scenes, and he let his emotions get away from him, which wasn't good for Frodo in the end. And so I think
just
that
a hobbit, sorry.
and so I think in those moments, it just didn't really put him in a good light, and I think he could have done a little bit better to help out his best friend because he got emotional in that scene. And yeah, the Doctor is a doctor and is in a different higher up state that is more of a mentorship. And there's obviously friendship. There's always friendships and apprenticeship and mentorships. But unfortunately in this situation, I do think it more comes across as the Doctor helping out Django. And so why I think that Danny is the best overall is because he is cliche where it counts, and he is different in the terms of the way that the choices that he made to help his friend that he just met the other day, which reinstates what I was saying before about how he is choosing values, and those values are so important in a friend to me.
Ian?
So I'm just going to keep hammering home the point that a best friend should not be someone who blindly, loyally follows you into any endeavor or never challenges you. It's just someone who's there to kind of support you. I don't think that's what a best friend is. I think a best friend is someone who elevates you, and you at the same time can challenge and elevate them. I think the arguments against like a mentorship kind of thing with Django, I think that's the time period the movie is set in. We can't do anything about that. Like, I'm focusing on the personal relationship that they have, like, regardless of the social political climate that they are in right now. And again, Dr. King Schultz actually forces that social political climate to be null and void, because he drags Django into equality, shows him his worth, helps him fulfill his potential, and also dies in the end just because of pride. Not because he is like... Oh, spoiler alert, sorry.
That one's fine.
Just because of pride, not because he's blindly like following or helping Django. He would have got them out safely if he was doing that. He is a man that sticks to his principles, and I value that in a friend.
Perfect. Okay. For my next magic trick, I shall summon my best friend. Go for it.
Best friend reporting for duty. So this is a dumb one to fact check because, like, were they friends? So
it's fine. Oh, okay.
But I was like, let me be super clinical and critical about this. And so I went on like a deep dive, like breaking down the psychology of what a friendship is and breaking down what is this sort of relationship. And so I have like charts of their relationships. I haven't written down the charts.
I was going to say, you had a lot more time than we had for something.
But I'm basically going to give like Cliff Notes versions of like all of these different things I went through. Friendship is an umbrella term. What were they actually considered to one another? So, for example, through a deep amount of research, I'm going to start with Django Unchained. Django and Dr. King Schultz, if you had to break down their bare bones to the essentials, starts off as a partnership of convenience and grows into a strong, and this is a term I didn't know before, but mentor and mentee bond. I didn't know they were called a mentee, but that it's a mentor-mentee.
That was totally a guess, but it was
like a manatee?
Where are you getting this information?
I have
lots of different.
Cite your sources.
Everyone has misunderstood this question, so all of this will be null and void. So get through it.
And then if we have to talk about Frodo and Sam, according to the books, not the movie, this is a movie podcast, but according to the books, they were not close friends before their adventure. They were simply master and servant. But if we go based off the movies, it is established they were friends before their adventure. Then, in Hot Fuzz, they are simply described as a strong friendship. Like there is no deeper analysis to have there. That is all. Thank you, best friend.
Yes, thank you, best friend. So now, the problem is...
How did we misunderstand the question?
No, it's just, he's not Django. you're not Frodo. It's who would make your best friend. So the whole idea of like what was
I
their
am Sam,
exact-
though.
I also
Yes.
illustrated that.
So that's the thing. It's just there was a lot of emphasis or focus on, but what was their relationship and the time and stuff, and that was an unnecessary focus on his from your guys on his point, because he's not him. He's not Django. He's just the whole question, and that's why I didn't care too much about what were the friendship dynamics. Is if you took this person, made them your best friend, who would be the best friend?
So it's about
It's not who was the best friend, who would make the best friend be your,
your
best.
own
Yes.
best friend. Oh,
Yes.
no, I did
so
not.
but it's fine. It's not like you went haywire.
I'd still choose Danny Bad.
But that's the thing. It's an
I would
important.
still choose Sam.
It's an important to distinguish because I don't want too much of a focus on who was their friend. So I think for that sake, Ian knocked you guys down very well when he did make the whole servant blindly following thing. I'm not saying it landed like you rebutted it well, but it was a very good point. And ironically, the equality side of it, where they challenge each other, I liked that argument. But I think, much unlike Caleb, I didn't actually want to get too technical of this. When I sit down and listen to what are you guys describing as who would make the best friend, it came down to one of you two, and literally as I started the sentence, it switched from one person to the other, and realistically, I think Danny Butterman would make the best friend. I don't know why I picked up Darth Vader. Yay. But
Darth Vader
It
approves.
is finished.
Darth Vader approves.
That's not the format.
Anakin
I feel
approves.
so hard done
No,
by right
it's funny because 100% you were going to get the point. I was like, I love the fact that they challenge each other and everything. And then I was like, yeah, but like that sounds like a fun friendship. And
Danny Butterman will eventually get to
and
that
I
point.
do think you counted enough that it wasn't just like fanatically following Nicholas. I think you painted that picture well enough. I think with Frodo and Sam, it is a little bit that still. Very almost yours, Ian, but I think I'm gonna give it to Alec.
'Cause, I just want to say, having a person that calls you out for stuff, Caleb knows, is very important
No,
to
that's
me.
the thing. So why I wanted to give you the point is because fundamentally I agree the most with all the points you painted. Like I from a
I
personal
know where you're
point.
coming from. I think if you chose someone else who did the same thing, for me, it's the fact that this, in my opinion, the script writes it more as a mentorship than a.
But it's just but it's like it's the situation. That's why I didn't consider
But
that. Too
then
much
the
'cause you're
easier pick, like what I considered, would just be Sydney from I Love You, Man. Because that's
that's just giving the answer.
But yeah, that is just like, he is a best friend. He's like, there's no real depth to it.
But yeah, I think overall good point, man. The year is almost over. What the fuck, man? That was quick. But damn, it's been a good one for film. In fact, it's been a great one. And once again, we need to ask you to narrow it down to one. What is the best movie of 2025? The one that carries the flag? We'll start with Alec. You're not the one that carries the flag. That was part of the question. Go ahead.
Ryan Coogler. We all know him from fantastic movies in the past. For me, I know this is probably a bit of a cliche one, Black Panther, but I think that he's really established himself as a really good filmmaker. And I think what he's now done in this film when it comes to Sinners, and that is my pick, is that he's really taken his filmmaking to the next level. His cinematography, the work that he does with the cinematographer is absolutely gorgeous. The script is incredible. The way that he's able to take Michael Jordan and split it into twins, and the way he shot that is so unique. There's so many times where I'm literally sitting there going, how did he get that shot? And that is a mix of really good cinematography with the director working with them to make those shots look so good and manage to make each of the twins so unique and different in their own ways. And there was never a time I was like, oh, which twin is that? I think he did a fantastic job of differentiating those twins. And I think that's something that's been done before, but Ryan Coogler has taken it to the next level. His the fact that he's using IMAX film is always amazing. And of course, that music scene, the way that he interweaves and intertwines the different music from different generation just absolutely took my breath away. And I'm not even that into music. And yet I think that scene is probably the best scene of the year. And I think that film overall with its narrative, and I haven't even mentioned the fact that it's about vampires and it's actually a horror movie. That's how next level this film is in terms of that it takes the genre and just squishes it and goes, no, this is what I'm making. I am making a fantastic masterpiece.
Okay, Ian.
All right.
Okay, so my pick for the best film of 2025 is Friendship, because I think it is such a breath of fresh air for comedy. I think comedy has been stale for the better part of a decade. I think it's old rehashed ideas. I think it's just nothing really new is happening writing wise. Nothing new is happening like how they would style a comedy movie. Friendship takes that and turns it all on its head. It's completely different. It's completely fresh. It's completely original. It watches more like a dark thriller comedy. I was in stitches basically the whole time. It served its purpose so beautifully as being an absurdist comedy movie. And I think that, like, out of any other movie of 2025, I think Friendship served its purpose the best.
Awesome. Lornell.
So my choice for the best film of 2025 is a little film called Weapons. And the reason I think it's the best film is because if you think about what a best film is, if you want to be like scientific about it, what is the best like overall in terms of best? Who won the most Oscars? It didn't win any Oscars, or maybe it did. I don't know.
It hasn't had the chance.
It hasn't had the chance. But my point being, like, would it have won the most awards? So I think Weapons has amazing, subtle social commentary. The director has said, even though he didn't intend it to be largely a political commentary, he's like so open to being like, if that's how you interpret it, then that's what it is. That's how it's great, which I think is a good thing because it means that you can identify with what you like or what you can. I think it's a really great movie because it uses multiple perspectives. So it uses a bit of a chapter format in which you follow different characters, so you see different perspectives of the same story. I think it's weirdly funny. It's a horror movie, so it's got like people's eyes poking out and children dying. No, children actually don't die.
Yeah.
They come close. But it's funny. Like, it's weirdly funny. So that makes it entertaining, which is what we would like a movie to be, is not just social commentary. I like it also because I think it's the best, rather, because it's also original. It is none of this sequel nonsense, none of this derivative things which we've seen time and time again. And I also really like it because of the horror thing. The fact that it is such a good movie, and it also includes like these horror elements or these mystical, magical elements, and it is still such a good movie. Like, sometimes I feel like when they add those kind of mystical things, it kind of what's the word? It like puts it in a corner. Like, oh, this is that movie or that movie. It's a horror movie or it's a political movie. It mashes it together and makes it's so good. So that's why I think Weapons is the best.
Awesome. Fight it out.
Alrighty, so comedy is the little bit of it's obviously a big thing for your movie, and it's an element of your movie. And so I just want to meet in the middle, firstly, by saying that it's very subjective whether a comedy lands or not. And so when it comes to you might think it's an incredible film because of the comedy, but me, I found the characters a little bit forced, especially one of the main characters. I forgot his name now, the one that was the one that got really weird by the end.
Yeah,
Tim Robinson is his name.
Paul Rudd, I think he's referring to. Yeah.
I just think that it gets a bit forced, and so I think that the comedy doesn't always land for me in that particular film. And then to now go back to what you were saying with Weapons, same thing in terms of subjective. There's a character here that I think is a bit forced in terms of comedy, and I think sometimes comedy in that horror film some people, because I remember in the cinema, some people were laughing and some people weren't, and some people felt, and I can see where they're coming from in terms of the fact that it just felt out of place and it takes away from the horror. And I think some people will see where they're coming from, but in this film, some people will actually see it as like, this is just ruining the moment. It's not that scary anymore. The fact that they're making jokes, the fact that these characters are acting in a certain way to try and get a laugh out of you, takes away a bit from the horror that the filmmaker, fantastic film, but I think that is a bit of I think it's safe. I think he did a lot of safe things, whereas Sinners takes the genre to the next level. It does so much more than just another horror movie, whereas I think Weapons is just another horror movie.
I will say also with the comedy stuff, it was too cringe.
Yeah.
Like, I know
the point.
It's subjective.
it's like we were just saying, it's subjective, but I feel like it's too subjective.
Yeah.
If you wanna say this is the best movie of the year,
Yes, yeah. It's very rare when a comedy movie wins.
I struggle.
when it
Same
comes
with
to-
horror.
I struggled so much with that movie to like watch it because it's just like I can't.
I guess you don't like The Office then.
No, I don't.
Oh.
It's it alienates me.
Okay.
I can't. I wanted to like it because there were people who were saying, "Oh no, it comments on like the social loneliness epidemic." So I wanted to like it. It was too much. I couldn't.
Yeah,
I couldn't.
so I think
I struggled through it.
like you both chose horror. We all chose movies that's not going to win any Oscars. Let's be real. Like Weapons is not going to be winning any
I'm there for
Oscars.
Sinners. I think Sinners just takes it so much further that finally they'll start to recognize it.
Sinners absolutely not is going to win any Oscars. I don't think so. Like, because the problem with Sinners, it's formed with two plots. Plot A is very cool. The cinematography is beautiful. The character building is beautiful. Plot B takes the movie, crinkles it up and throws it in the trash can. It was so like rushed. It was so like non-refined. It
What
was
would
such
you
a
say is plot B? Just checking.
the vampires.
The vampire.
Yeah, so I think the vampires come in at the last like 20% of the movie, and it's just such a like out of nowhere point. We're just gonna throw a bunch of vampires. There's some like weird like errors, like okay, there's a gang of 30 vampires fighting 6 people in a barn. They can fly, they have super strength, but the 6 people in the barn are able to beat them off somehow. Like, it's just so the ending of that movie was so silly to me, and it ruined a perfectly good film from the like for the first hour and a half. And then to get to Weapons, you say the messagery is subtle. I don't think a big gun at the end is subtle. I think that is pretty much like it was edited to, like, don't get me wrong, I love Zach Krieger, but like it was edited to screen for an audience, and that point was hammered home so stupidly. Like it wasn't needed. It wasn't needed.
It's school shootings. Is that what you're getting?
Yeah.
At? But the director has quoted saying that it's not about school shootings, or it's that it's not what was his
Wasn't intended.
original
Which
intention.
is such a cliche answer. It's like whatever you think it is. I'm like, bro, do you not put enough thought into it? Like it felt like it was just a safe answer. I agree with what you're saying. It definitely felt like a slap in the face rather than trying to be subtle. Sorry.
And a moment. Let's have a moment for that point.
Okay, what I will
I
say.
think make this your final point. She hates having fun. Okay, I'll switch it up. You had the last one. Alec, make this your final point.
Sure. Damn, you did make my brain switch.
No, but
Okay, Ian, make this your
I haven't had a
Okay.
chance to properly talk.
I'll-
my final argument.
I'll make a final argument.
Am I going off? Should I go?
I'll let Lauren. I'll go last.
So I think both of you didn't make any actual critiques on the film Friendship, other than subjectively I don't think it's funny or subjectively I don't like it, because that's comedy. Comedy is obviously subjective. Horror, much to the same vein, is like some things you find scary, some things I don't find scary. Like that doesn't make or break a film. I think what Friendship did is important in the comedy space. I think it's doing something new. I think the acting was brilliant. I think the story was so cool. Like, absurdist humor is underrated in my opinion. And I think like we live in absurd times. It's hammering home such like different messages also from all over the place. I think Friendship stands out as a movie on its own for 2025. I think Sinners was a mess at the end, and I think Weapons was edited to be too like sanitized for an audience.
Alec, give us your final.
So I wholeheartedly disagree that a B, plot A, and I like to rather go act 1, 2, and 3. I think that what Sinners did really well was plant seeds into the film about why vampires came in kind of last minute, because they need to establish characters, they need to establish what they were talking about, and a big theme of the film was legacy. And I think the vampire part of it just brings in that mythical effect of like, what does it actually mean to leave a legacy? Because now that you live forever, it's a lot easier to to do that. And so I think that brings in a whole other level to the themes and the stories that it's trying to tell within Sinners. And I think that's why it's above the rest, because like I said in the beginning, it does something different. I think what you have here is another comedy movie, and I think Weapons is yet another horror movie. Whereas I think Sinners is gone past just another vampire horror movie.
I don't know.
So what I feel about Sinners is I don't think it says much new things. I feel like it does rely on old tropes. I feel like it doesn't bring much to the vampire lore, except that it had an opportunity to. In that scene where the main vampire is being chased by those vampire hunters, like I feel like there was such an opportunity there to tell a new story that hasn't been heard before. From you always hear about the white vampire hunters and the European vampire hunters. Like it was a missed opportunity. I feel. I also feel like it. I feel like Sinners is only good because everything else is so bad. Which is maybe not fair, but that's what I feel like. It's a good movie, but it's only because there's so few good movies out there. Like it feels good because everything else feels less than. So I'm
one of those movies is your movie. Oh, sorry.
Hey, play the game, not the player. And then with the friendship film, like it feels like an extended sketch. Not a bad sketch, but it didn't feel like a movie for me. Like it felt like a really long extended effective sketch, and it's not what I want to see from a film. And I feel like Weapons is got such amazing performances, such amazing effects, such an effective storytelling with the different multiple perspectives. I feel like it's more approachable for most people. Maybe that's a bad thing. I don't agree with the argument because you say that comedy is subjective, horror is subjective. You're arguing the point for and against yourself. You're saying we're subjective, you're also subjective. So it doesn't elevate us against you or anything because we're both subjective then. So I think Weapons is an overall best film. I think it does everything that it has to the best that it can.
Cool. Time. Fact checker.
I forgot to crawl.
He's been breaking more.
the illusion.
Fourth wall.
Sorry.
Don't you dare look into the camera now. No.
So interesting fact. Vincent.
They should all be.
This is a not about movies.
This is about Vincent. A fact about Vincent?
This is a fact about Vincent and I. Vincent has been saying for months now that Friendship is a movie that we should watch together.
Yeah.
Because it would have an impact on our friendship, which if I think about the story, I'm nervous about.
No. I never said it would impact our friendship. I said, based on us always talking about Tim Robinson, this is the final form of it.
Because honestly, we don't know if we like him or not. Because sometimes he's great.
I think you should leave the movie.
Do you want to explain the joke?
No.
As skit show is, I think you should leave with Tim Robinson.
So, there was a bit of a debate about the messaging behind Weapons. And I think what's very interesting, especially being in South Africa, I never picked up on any of this messaging. And when I read about it online, I was like, damn, Americans are messed up. Can't a movie just be a scary movie? But the director has said that he didn't want the film to be about anything that a lot of people have started saying it is about. Some of the social and political commentary includes school shootings and gun violence. This is a fact we might remove because I actually think this is oversight from our side. Is Friendship a 20... Cool. Yeah, there we go.
I know.
Okay, I'm not going to include that.
Fact check it. What he's talking about
But it released this year.
No, so this is why I allowed it. It was screened at a premiere in 2024. But it's released to audiences.
But if you even Google, is it a 2024 or 2025 movie, people say it's a 2024 movie.
Yeah, they do. But it's fine.
But we're not going to count it?
It's fine.
Yeah, 100%.
And
I'm okay with that.
Yeah. No, so...
100%.
So I can sign myself up. And that's all the facts I have.
Yeah, so I hate how tough you guys make this for me. Like, usually it becomes clear, middle of the road, and I hate that it's not that because now I have to put work in. This should be a lazy Sunday for me.
I have to think.
Yes.
Lazy Sunday in December.
Yeah, it's December Sunday, man.
It's so hot.
Yeah. Okay, so I don't actually know for a fact who is getting it. Who I know is not getting it is Alec. So why is, I don't know if the honest truth is I genuinely think Sinners is extremely overrated. I think it's good. I don't think it's great. And I wasn't gonna obviously can't lean on that to make my decision.
I was gonna say,
but I was hoping people would give enough points that I can shut it down, and they did. I think the points that they paint is very valid. I think what Ian has said about the conflicting plot points and the fact that it does get messy, and Lornell giving this picture of possibly a more interesting movie, and this idea of, yes, it's a very well crafted movie. Absolutely, I won't question that. Very well crafted in a time where movies aren't crafted with as much care anymore, but it's not enough to elevate it. I'll be in the minority. Most people will say it's the best movie of the year, so you're still in the majority there.
I will say one thing. Sorry, I forgot to mention this in my fact checking, because there was a point where someone was like, "It will never win any Oscars."
It will, Dave.
It will.
No,
most
Sinners
likely
will
win
probably
Oscars.
take everything.
I did a lot of Googling, and obviously there's nothing.
No, they
confirmed.
said that about my film, about Weapon.
But it's fine. It's fine.
We'll talk. We'll see. But
So,
I'm saying
yeah.
there's a lot of Oscar buzz around.
Yeah, so
Sinners.
Sinners will probably win Best Performance and probably get nominated for Director. But who cares? We're not
more the filmmaking side.
Yeah, we're not all Oscar-y. We don't really care about that side of things as much. I am very unsure which direction to go, whether it's going to be Lornell or Ian. And I think the only thing that sways it, because I will admit, I love Friendship. I think it's a fantastic movie, and I really want to rewatch it. I think I'll go Lornell, because if you put up a poster of best movie of the year, it's probably not going to be the niche comedy that not everyone's going to like, because it is the thing that makes Friendship so good is it's definitely not for most people. And that's what I love about it. It's half of the people watching it will probably think it's the stupidest thing ever. And it's not. A lot of people say, yeah, but that's the point. It's stupid. I don't think it's stupid. I think it's brilliant. I think it's really, and I love Friendship a lot. I love Weapons too. But Weapons is a better thing to slap on that flag for best movie of the year. It breaks my heart not to give it to Friendship, but I think just for that small reason, Lornell, you will get the point, which means Lornell and Alec will be in the speed round. Now, the fun thing is, Ian, you're going to help me judge the speed round, and your vote will count as strongly as mine does.
I'd much rather do that.
No, so Ian, your vote, but let's just quickly explain how it works. I'm going to give you a question that you have not heard before. You have to come up with an answer within 5 to 10 seconds and just shout it out. Once both of you have shouted out your answer, one person at a time will get 20 seconds to argue their point, and then they'll get 15 seconds again to argue their rebuttal. And then Ian and myself will decide who gets the point. If we can't agree, then Caleb and Jeff behind the camera will break the tie. Don't interrupt each other during the speed round. You will get your chance, and I will clarify and tell you what to do when the time is right. Don't think about it too much. Are you ready? I'm going to ask you your first question. It is open-ended. Just give me your answer as soon as you have it. Okay. Who is the best green character?
Shrek.
Hulk.
Okay, I like it. With the face-off everyone's been waiting to see. Okay.
It's green.
I heard Lornell first. You're going to have 20 seconds in 3, 2, 1, go.
Shrek has influenced a whole generation of people. Shrek is so iconic in his design, in his jokes. The whole film is a cultural mainstay. Everybody knows who Shrek is. And he's just such an awesome character. He talks about layers, and we all love him so much.
Time. Bought some time there at the end. Okay, Alec, in 3, 2, 1, go.
Hulk is a well-known character that has been known for absolutely years. He did so well in the comics that they thought that he was good enough to bring to the big screen. And I think his character is just so interesting because everyone gets angry at the end of the day. Everyone gets mad. And this green monster that comes out of him is just a personification, a metaphor of how sometimes we get
time.
into that.
Okay, Lornell, 15 seconds. 3, 2, 1, go.
Well, if you want to be real technical in the comments, he was grey first, not green. Well, actually, and also you could say that of any other character in the comics, that they were so great that they got brought to film. Shrek is a unique, original character. He was in the books, but he was completely
Time.
different.
Okay, And Alec in 3, 2, 1, go.
Shrek is a horrible person. He has just consistently put down Donkey in any moment that he can. He is a horrible friend, and he doesn't even grow that much in every film. I'm surprised he got married in the end of the movie, to be honest. Why did Fiona choose him? I don't know. I wouldn't.
Damn. Tough coming from the guy who loved Marriage Story. Okay. Ian, who do you think took that?
I do want to give it to Alec because that last argument was so good and funny, but I do think Lornell made better points.
Yeah, I agree. I think, Lornell, I'm going to give it to you. You pulled a Vincent by wasting 5 seconds with a silly joke in the beginning, but you still used the rest of the 10 seconds to bring it home.
It's so hard to think fast.
No, you did well. So the first point will go to Lornell, so that's 1-0. I forgot to mention, Alec, there's 5 questions, so the first 3 will win. Okay, next question. It's an open-ended. What is the coolest movie name, regardless of the quality of the movie?
Mission
Paprika.
Impossible.
Two things I did not think would be screamed at the same time ever. Okay, so just to clarify, Paprika and Mission Impossible. Okay, anyone can confirm Paprika a real movie? I've never heard
I
of
will
it.
Google it quickly.
Google.
Okay.
It's an animated film.
Okay, I believe you. I'm not questioning you. I'm just
Just
asking.
quickly, because I just thought fast. It is.
There's 2 films called Paprika.
Okay, that's all we
One from
need.
1991 and one from 2006. It looks like the 2006 was the animated film.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
There you go.
I heard Alec first, going for Mission Impossible in 3, 2, 1.
I think that the music does a lot of the work here with Mission Impossible. As soon as you hear that, you just hear that dun 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 dun. And so I think in itself, the film with the Tom Cruise kind of coming down, just the whole action around it, Mission Impossible also just screams, oh my gosh, what do you mean it's impossible? It just says so much with saying with only 2 words.
Okay, and time. Lornell, 20 seconds with Paprika in 3, 2, 1.
Paprika, it's a spice, but it's for a movie that's about dreaming. So it's maybe a little bit misleading, but it's such a cool name, Paprika. It sounds cool. I don't know, man. It just said the first thing that came to my head. The girl's got red hair and red paprika's red.
Time. Paprika. That's how I'm ending rounds from now on. Okay, you've got 15 seconds in 3, 2, 1, go.
Paprika just sounds like a joke to me and not a good one. Instead, it just sounds like a fruit, and maybe it is a fruit. What is it? No one knows. When you think paprika, what do you think? I think nothing. I think maybe a color like yellow, but it's not anything and it's not connected to anything meaningful.
Okay, I will reserve my comments until Lornell's done. 3, 2, 1, go.
Mission Impossible is such a basic bitch. No, sorry, can I restart? No. Man, why don't you just say, "Oh, this is a spy movie" on the box? Like it's such a, it's too basic. Like there's no nuance to the title. And
Okay, time.
When you play the game, not the player.
No, it's fine. I understood. She did not mean he's being basic bitch. She's saying the title.
question.
Yeah.
I am a basic bitch, though.
So, damn, Alec does not know what paprika is. A yellow fruit. No, it's a red spice, I think.
Oh, yes, of course.
Yes, I'm
I actually
sorry.
have that on my shelf.
Sorry. Okay.
I mean, it does come in like a bell pepper form.
I guess
sometimes.
but damn, I don't know if he was thinking that. Look, when I wrote this question, I knew that's what do you say? But I think, even though I very much enjoyed Lornell's wacky approach, I'll give it to Alec, just because I think you did attempt to explain in the beginning of your first. But that's my point.
Alec too.
Yeah, I think it's very hard to make paprika objectively cool, so I'll go with Alec as well.
I think paprika is a cool name. I agree.
Did
but
my that help? Like,
no, I think you just gave reasons. That's good.
You didn't go, I don't know.
No, it was funny. I
I'd give it
enjoyed.
to Alec too.
Okay, that's 1-1. So we are tied going into our third speed round question.
Basic bitch. Let's go.
You are not the
Yeah. Okay. Oh, this is perfect, Alec. This one's for you.
Oh, sorry.
You'll, no,
Clear bias already.
You'll see why it's for you, and also you'll pick up a trend in the questions. Okay. Who is the best yellow character?
Minion.
Okay.
Do I know any yellow characters?
Maybe not personally.
Warlock. From Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, Adam Warlock.
Oh, yeah. Gold, but I'll give you. I'll count it as yellow. All good. Okay. So Warlock versus Minion. Once again, another fight I did not see coming. Okay, I heard Minion first, starting in 3, 2, 1.
Minions, yes, they're annoying, but there is no denying the cultural impact that the Minions have had. Those little yellow guys have gone so far that they're even on Facebook, and all the moms know the Minion. They may not be loved, but they're well known, and that may go a lot further than, being loved.
Okay, cool. Lornal, 20 seconds in 3, 2, 1, go.
Adam Warlock is the best character because, in the films at the very least, he starts off as the bad guy, as this evil childlike character, but in the end he becomes one of the Guardians of the Galaxy, and he has this amazing arc, and he's a cool character, and he's played by the guy with the eyebrows, and I like that actor a lot, and he's such a cool yellow guy. I mean, he's technically gold, but
Remind me, I'll also forget his name. What's
Will
his name?
Porter.
Will Porter.
I
also love him.
that
He's so
actor.
good. I love
so
him. Yeah.
he's so good.
I think he's universally. Okay,
so sorry.
15 seconds starting with Alec. 3, 2, 1, go.
You just gave me it while I was thinking how amazing Will Porter is. Sorry.
Okay, fine. This one I'll give you. Okay,
Thank you.
because that's my
We
fault.
got distracted, yeah.
3, 2, 1, go.
This character is probably one of the best examples of why I think Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is probably the worst in the trilogy, is because of the fact that they took a fantastic character and made him a joke.
Fair. Okay. Lornal, 15 seconds. 3, 2, 1.
The Minions have no depth. They're just yellow, stupid, sciencey things, and also there's a plot hole in how they were created, and it just shows how silly and how nobody puts thought into what these stupid pill-shaped things were supposed to be.
Okay, time. I like that you got stupid pill-shaped things in there at the end. Okay, Ian, you go first.
It's super close, actually. Like I don't really, but I'm leaning towards Alec, and there's not like a lot of reasons, but it's also like I'm merely impressed by the fact that you like argued so passionately for Minions.
Okay, then I will shove your leaning body over because I also pick Alec. I think you painted the Minions in a meaningful way, and I agree that you brought up the necessary point, which is they actually butchered his character in Guardians of the Galaxy. So I think Will Poulter did a good attempt at saving him, but he did not. So yeah, he's not poor, trust me. Okay, so I believe that's 2 Alec and 1 Lornal. So Alec, if you win this next one, you are the winning character, the main character. Okay. Ooh, okay, Alec, this one's for you.
Stop saying that.
By the way, the reason I said it last time is because paprika is yellow.
Oh, Lord,
apparently.
okay. I was trying to connect.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
it's
did
like
not make that
No,
connection.
I have a deeply unsettled mind. Okay, which 2 movie characters have the most toxic relationship?
I'm gonna say the characters from Marriage Story because that's the top of my head right now.
Cool.
Dracula and Renfield.
Oh, nice. In Renfield, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And Alec, your time will start in 3, 2, 1, go.
I think then in itself, like I was saying earlier, they love and hate each other at the exact same time when we see them in this film. And what it's doing is that it's hurting their child at the end of the day. That's what makes it so toxic. Yes, they're hurting each other because of the insults, but what's really hurting at the end of the day is their child, and that is really sad and really toxic.
Okay, time. Lornal, 20 seconds, 3, 2, 1, go.
In that movie, he literally goes to a support group for toxic partners, right? It's in the film, and he's literally being abused by a centuries-old vampire played by Nicolas Cage, and it's a horrible toxic thing, and there's actually narcissistic things that happen in that film.
Time. Okay, 15 seconds. 3, 2, 1, go.
I think a lot of the toxic things that happen in that film is like put off as a kind of a joke, and it's really just a funny thing than a serious thing, and they're trying to just get jokes the entire movie. The relationship is toxic, but it's just for a laugh. I don't, yeah.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Okay, time. Okay. And Lornal, 15 seconds. 3, 2, 1, go.
This whole episode you've been talking about how they love each other and how they're amazing, and now suddenly you're arguing that they're toxic. I don't think they're toxic for their kid. I mean, if you want to make that argument, I think they try their best for their kid. They're very cordial in front of the child.
Time. Okay. I I don't want to make a decision. Ian, you can start.
I think I would give it to Lornell because
Yeah.
I think she properly rebutted
Yeah,
the
that's exactly
toxic
my
thing.
reason.
Yeah.
I think the way you handled your rebuttal is also why I'm giving. I was leaning towards Alec, but your rebuttal was perfect, which means we are in a true standoff in the final question.
I've been looking forward to this question.
Oh, really?
If you are clever, you could guess the question, but you are not, so you didn't. I'm joking. Okay. Who is the best red character?
Red Skull.
Oh, nice.
Iron Man.
I'll accept. Okay. Lornell, 20 seconds in 3, 2, 1, go.
The Red Skull is such a vile, awful character. He makes us hate him so much, and then Marvel managed to bring him back later, and he was somehow not redeemed, but it was satisfying to see him again, which made him a cool red character to see. And that reveal where Hugo Weaving pulls his face off and reveals that red skin underneath is just iconic.
Okay. Alec, 3, 2, 1, go.
I love Iron Man 3000. That's what his daughter says. His daughter, who loves him 3000, and so do we all. Tony Stark is an iconic character. Iron Man is the reason why we have the Marvel Cinematic Universe to where it is today, and the reason why Endgame ends on such a powerful note. Everyone loves Iron Man, and I do too. That red guy.
Time. That red guy, man. Okay. Lornell, 15 seconds. 3, 2, 1, go.
I'm gonna make the easy argument that Iron Man isn't actually red if you're talking about Tony Stark, which is I Love You the 3000. Plus, there's so many other colors associated with Iron Man, like silver and gold. So I don't think you can call him a red character.
Time. Okay. Alec, in 3, 2, 1, go.
Red Skull was in my opinion, just a bit of a throwaway. Captain America is the worst of all the Captain America films, and Red Skull was not the best villain. I thought he did a fine enough job, and then when they returned him, they even changed the actor because the actor didn't want to return to play the same character. That's how much he didn't.
So I actually am going to make my call. I think Alec wins it for one reason, because I understand you had to grab at something, grabbing at the color. We gave you yellow when your character was gold, so he'll have red. And so my cast goes to Alec. What do you say?
Yeah, I also think Alec, just because you argued for what a bad character Red Skull was.
Yeah, fair enough.
He was so bad, he was good.
Yeah, he was, but Alec was so good, he was good. And that is why he is the winner of today's episode. Main character.
That was funny. You guys did fantastic. I never thought I feel like I just won. You guys were so good. That's incredible.
I literally throughout the episode was like, oh cool, Ian's gonna win this episode. Oh
Yeah,
cool, Lornell's
me
gonna win
too,
this episode.
me
I'm like,
too.
oh, that Alec gonna.
I'm oh, cool. This is great. This is good fun. Good. I never thought.
No, but that's why our favorite episodes of Plot Armor are the ones where it's a tight game with good
You
competition.
never saw it coming.
Yeah,
Who would have
exactly.
thought that, Ginger?
And it's really, really good choices from everyone.
Yeah.
I told them before you came that I literally last second changed my answer because I also picked weapons.
Also,
I love that movie. I absolutely love that
While we're
movie.
doing disclaimers, I loved Sinners so much.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't like it.
It was such a cool movie.
I was pretty honest. I loved the first half of it. I think the second half just fell short.
I wanted to, if I was the argument where you're like, he's so brilliant in the way he distinguishes twins. Red and blue, man. That's not that deep.
But I don't think it was like in my argument I said it was like a complete mess. Like the ending was sucked. I don't think that.
No, it doesn't suck.
I just think
It's perfectly fine. That's how I feel.
I get it, guys. You guys hate my choices.
Yeah.
I also liked Marriage Story, by the way, as well.
Yeah, but it is. I agree. It's melodramatic, but it's good. It is good.
Yeah, it was actually.
I wish I was dead.
And it was very obvious, but I haven't seen both of them.
I'm sure it's good.
I'm sure it's
Yeah,
decent.
sure it's bad.
And that's when I was losing.
No, I love with the White Tiger, but it's very derivative of Slumdog Millionaire, isn't it? No,
I feel like mine.
Never mind.
I feel like my direction of going isn't it kind of like glorifying crime? And I feel like that was where.
But that's
Where am I going
fine.
with
You
that?
won it and it worked. So good job. I think, Alec, you won. You tell the people where to find you first.
Are they just not allowed to talk now? So
No, you'll just do it first. Okay.
please just walk away.
I think you should leave with Tim Robbins.
I want to be the new fact checker.
I am that freaking geek. Please come over. I'd love to talk about all things video games with you. I love talking about movies. I love talking about video games. Come over, TikTok, Instagram, that freaking geek. Please, I'd love to chat with you.
But you're not allowed to leave an emoji. It has to be a proper.
It has to be a proper comment, please.
Frickin' is IN or EN?
FREAKIN.
Yeah. Freaking
geek.
Okay, Lornal, tell us where to find you and whatever else you want to say.
I can say I said this last time, but you can come check out a feature film that I'm editing called Trunk. It should be coming out
Sexy
soon,
elephant.
by the December in which this is being filmed. With the sexy elephant, yes. It's super cool. We've almost done with the rough cut, and it is. I'm super excited to see it all come together. It's so amazing. I'm living my dream.
Do you know where people could watch it, or will it be cinematic or CakeNet or?
Most likely at the Bioscope.
Oh, cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm super excited for that. Otherwise, we do still want to get it produced.
Sure, yeah.
Or rather not.
Shopping it around.
Distributed, sorry. We do want to get it distributed to other places, so keep what's the word?
Keep a lookout.
Keep a lookout. Keep an eye.
No, perfect. Yeah, and
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Ian, tell people where to find you and whatever else you want to say.
Okay, into which camera am I looking?
That one, if it's recording.
Okay, so you can find me on Instagram and TikTok at itsjalska. It has nothing to do with movies, but it has everything to do with the alternative music scene in South Africa. And if you're into that, I think you should give me a follow because you'll discover new bands, you'll discover shows. Like, that's pretty much all the content I do.
Yes, and I think we need to support local more and more, especially in the
support
music scene.
local bands and artists,
100%.
support
Podcasts.
local shows, go
local
to
podcasts.
support local podcasts like this one, lovely one.
No, awesome. I am seeing that we're on the shouting out phase of things. This is one of the last episodes of season 1, and there is a very cool plan for the final episode of the year, which will drop on the 22nd of December. So keep an eye out for that because it will feature a lot of your favorite faces from the show. And go check out Plot Armor using the social media thingy below. Thingy means things that are small in Afrikaans. We will also take this chance to thank Tebedien. My favorite is the empty glasses at the end of the episode.
I still got the last sip.
No, it's fine. I even ate the pineapple.
Watered down ice.
So it's been really good. Thank you to Tebedien. And lastly, thank you to God for bringing amazing people together and enabling us to do this show with awesome people and building cool relationships while doing it. Bye-bye.